Hello, Dr. Teresa.
Hello.
Yeah, you are not visible, Teresa. Can you please on your camera? Hello. Teresa, can you please on your camera? Yeah. Hi.
Hey,
How
can you
are
see
you?
me? Okay, so we are not live now, right?
Yeah, you are on live.
Okay, great. But you can see me, you can hear me.
Yeah. How are
Can I
you?
share my? I'm very well, thank you. Good job, doing well.
And before starting your session, I want to introduce your bio to our audience.
Okay,
Dr. Teresa is a medical doctor, public health specialist, emergency responder, and certified speaking coach. She manages health initiatives for millions in Nigeria, coordinates World Bank funded projects, and has responded to over 20 public health emergencies. A sought after speech coach and event compare, she also leads a non-profit dedicated to leadership development for youth and women. Yeah, Dr. Teresa, that was a great bio, and
thank
the
you.
stage is all yours.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. So can you see my slide?
Yeah, you can share your slide.
Can you see my slide now?
No, Dr. Teresa, you have to share.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Yeah, there is a share option below, Teresa, next to mic.
Next to the microphone. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So I should click the entire screen.
Yeah, yes, Teresa.
Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
So I share first, then I choose what I want. Can you see?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay, so what I understand is I have to share first and then I click on what I want.
Yeah. Yes, Teresa, you
So
can continue.
can you see this now?
Yes, Teresa.
Okay. Now, how do I know when we go live? How do I know if I leave this, if we went live, will this be showing immediately? Or I have to go through that process again? Hello? Hello, Melinda. Hello,
Hello,
Melinda.
Teresa. Yes, you can share your slides now. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, you can reshare.
Okay, okay.
Yes, now it's okay.
So when we go live, I have to do this process again. I have to do it quite
No,
like
no, no
this.
need, no need, no need. You're already on live.
I'm already live. I'm
Yeah.
already online. Okay.
Yes. You can continue now, Teresa.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are on live.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, good morning, everyone. I It's a lovely, beautiful Sunday morning here in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, where I am speaking from. And I'm sending you love and sunshine and joy on this beautiful day. Today, I'm here to share on how to break barriers, build ladders, using positive self talk to unleash your power as an unstoppable woman. At the end of these 20 minutes, you will gain, you will understand never to speak unkindly to yourself, carelessly to yourself. But beyond that, you will learn how to actually create and build ladders to the top of your dreams or your desires using nothing other than words. I want to thank you for going on this journey with me, and I hope we can connect outside this platform on LinkedIn. So let me be timing myself. I just want to be sure that I don't run over time. Right. So I'm going to talk about the power of words and how we can use this to build our dreams. And you might be wondering, what's my interest in this? Well, this is because words literally saved my life. Now, when I was about 9 years old, I had an experience no child should ever have. Now, if you are if you wanted to eat mushrooms today, right, you would probably go to a store and get yourself a kind of mushroom, quite like this. But when I was a child, you couldn't do that. You had to go to the fields to actually pick the mushrooms and then, have whatever lovely meal you wanted to have. So it was one of the highlights of our spring season. The rains were out and we would go out into the fields 6 a.m. in the morning, and just the grass would be green, there's dew on the field, and we'll just pick these fragrant mushrooms and bring them home to our parents or mom, who would make this lovely mushroom stew. We loved it. It was an idyllic childhood. But one day, all of that changed. So I'm with 6 other kids and we're out on this field picking mushrooms. We went into a part of the field that we didn't know had abandoned pits. And while we were going through this, I fell inside a pit, an abandoned pit that was overgrown with weeds. This kid, I looked up from the hole and I saw 6 children up there trying to help me out. So I reached out my hands and they held me and tried to pull me out. But each time, the more they tried, the further I sank. It was like quicksand. I kept sinking further into the ground until at a point they couldn't reach me anymore. Then these kids turned and ran off. Later on, I understood that they had run off to get an adult. At that time, I thought they were abandoning me. The last thing I remember is the top of that pit collapsing over me, and then there was just silence. Now, I would have loved to say I woke up in heaven, I saw angels, I died, I woke up in heaven, but that wasn't what happened. I woke up in hospital, and after months of surgery on my right leg, I was left with a scar. Now, that was a physical scar that everybody could see. I still carry that scar today on my right leg. But what people did not see, what I didn't know, was that there was an even deeper scar that was unseen. And that was the morbid fear of death. I was terrified. I kept remembering that day back then when I was literally buried alive. And that terrified me. If someone was sleeping and couldn't move, I would be petrified. If there was an insect that was lying still, I would be terrified. So, but I didn't know this. I didn't really understand that it was a major problem until 10 years later, I'm in my late teens and I'm in medical school. And guess what the tool of anatomy is? That's right, cadavers. The first day I walked into that anatomy lab and I saw these bodies all covered in clothes, I freaked out. I turned and I left that lab and I never went back. I missed all the anatomy classes, I missed all the dissection sessions, anything that was related to anatomy, whatever it was, I wouldn't go near it. Well, not surprisingly, at the end of that year, I was thrown out of medical school. It was one of the most devastating periods in the lives of my family because I'm the eldest child and everyone, oh, she's going to be a doctor. My parents were so excited. And here I was all thrown out. Now, I spent almost a year back home, and there was a teacher, an Irish nun, who was teaching in the school where my father was the school principal. I spent a lot of time in her office, and she was curious about my journey because she kind of knew where I was coming from. She had mentored me, she had taught me, and before I went into the university. And so she was curious why I was thrown out. And then I began to speak. And I think she kind of figured out along the way that there was something really going on. There was this words at the back of my mind, I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead. I was buried alive. And she knew it was a major problem. It was this nun who began to, I would say, debrief me. She began to talk to me and she told me that if I didn't change that conversation that was going on in my mind, I would never amount to much. She gave me words to affirm. She gave me words to speak to myself. She read them very colorfully and asked me to paste them in my room and speak to them. And I did. Some of those words were, I am not afraid. I am fearless. I am brave. I am bold. Initially, when I started saying these words, it sounded hollow. It sounded non-effective. It didn't make sense. But I think after a while, I started to believe them. I started to believe them. I started to become more confident. I didn't even know when I got healing, but the defining moment came when I attended my grandmother's funeral and I saw her beautiful body with nothing other than peace and serenity. That was when I knew that I was truly free. Needless to say, I went back to medical school. I, without much drama, graduated. And I learned from that episode. That experience taught me that the way to build, that the way you can build or rebuild, whether it's your life, your career, your goals, you can do that literally with words. And it doesn't matter what this life is about. It doesn't matter what the goal is. For us women, building career goals and dreams can be challenging. We have all of these hurdles that come our ways. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the business sphere, business leadership, you're in global health, like I work in, you're in technology or finance, these hurdles are there. I remember, driving in a cab with a taxi driver who ran the traffic light. And I told him, no, I'm paying you to take me somewhere. You can't beat the traffic light. And this gentleman literally told me that I can't tell him what to do because he is a man. And he said to me, and I've shared this on so many platforms. He said to me, a woman can't tell a man what to do. A woman can't say anything where a man is. The least man is greater than the highest woman. He literally said that. So I found that there are so many hurdles that are thrown at us. They can be from the society, but the worst hurdles are the ones that we throw at ourselves. And some of these hurdles come from imbibing the things that society has thrown at us. If you, in my country, if you got stuck in traffic or you were involved in an accident, you're very likely to hear a comment like, oh, don't worry, it's a woman. Just let it slide. It's a woman. Oh, no wonder it happened. It's a woman. What do you expect? It's a woman. I don't know if you have experienced that, but that happens all the time. So I was at a meeting of very senior women. Oh my goodness. Now, can somebody hear me? I'm not seeing my screen and I cannot see the chat box. Can I please hear a sound to show that I'm communicating? I literally cannot see my chat box. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead. So I'm at this conference, and please, if you can unmute, somebody can unmute and just tell me you're communicating. So I'm at this conference. It's held in some highbrow neighborhood, and we have about people from 6 countries join in. So about 30 of us are in the room, and we have women from Australia, the US, South Africa, Kenya, log in on Zoom. And there was a Mentimeter activity, to create a word cloud. Now, it's not this one that you're seeing on the screen, but to create a word cloud on how we felt as women leading in the global health space. And as women began to log in on those words, their fears, their barriers, their anxieties, I began to see a common thread of women saying, I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I'm not competent. I feel like I'm never going to amount to much. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And what was interesting is that these are some of the most powerful women in the industry, in healthcare. And I was wondering if we women at this level could still have this debilitating um, talk, at the back of their minds. They still feel that they're not good enough. How much more powerful they could be if they changed the dialogue that they were giving to themselves. And so I went back to my season, my understanding of the power of words, not what anyone else says, but what we tell ourselves, what you tell yourself. That is much more powerful. So today, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter what someone says about you. Sometimes we hear in psychology, oh, when you were growing up, people said unkind things, you're stupid, you're never going to amount to much. And we take that in, right? I'm telling you today that none of this is as powerful or as consequential as what you tell yourself. Nothing matters. You are that final authority on what happens. Now, I want to illustrate this by asking, if I asked you, wherever you are right now, whether you're driving, you're at your workstation, you're in your bed, if I asked you to get on your feet, and then I begged, and I cajoled, and I pleaded, you would not do it until you decided, I'm going to get up. Even if I held a gun to your head, you would only get up if you said, you know what, I'm going to get up. So I'm illustrating this to show that it is your decision. You have the power. You have the final say on whether you are going to get up or not. So the idea here is, do not say, oh, they told me this when I was a child, I was told this. Yes, those matter. But remember, you can override all of those by your own words. So today, I'm bringing to you, reminding you that words are creative. You can literally create. Even if nothing exists, you can literally recreate or create the conditions you want with your words. And why is this so? How do we know this? We know that the whole world was created with words. Then God said in Genesis, let there be light. And hey, there was light. There was no negotiation. He said it happened. The whole world was literally created with words. But beyond that, beyond just reacting, the purpose of this message is that you can intentionally design your life with words. I got back over my fears and got back to medical school by verbalizing what I wanted to see for myself. You too can build your dreams, careers, goals with your words, even if nothing exists right now. Okay, think about it. What if you could use your words to create the ladder to your dreams? What if what I'm saying is true? What possibilities could literally be at your fingertips or at the tip of your tongue? What could you miraculously do? What if you realize that every word you speak is a rung on the ladder to the top? So I'm using the ladder now as a metaphor for the things you need to get to the top of, whatever it is your dream life looks like. What if every word you speak was a rung on that ladder? And what if every positive word just added another rung on the ladder? Each time you said something great about yourself, there was another rung added to that ladder. But what if every time you said something negative, you actually broke down the ladder that you have created? Would that change the way you speak? Would that change the way you view yourself? Would that change the internal dialogue that is going on at the back of your head all of the time? I want to believe it would if you were intentional and you were aware of this. We've talked about self awareness in this conference so much since yesterday. If you were aware of how powerful this was, I literally believe that you could do things differently. So, where are you heading? What is your dream? What's that ideal? What's that success? Because for every one of us on this platform, success is different. Your goals are not mine, your dreams are not mine, and that's why there's no competition, because we do not all want the same thing. So what would it be like? What would be the ladder to your dreams? Now, using this ladder as a metaphor, there are certain things that you need to create this ladder. And on these pillars here, right, the vertical poles are your knowledge and your character. Now, knowledge here is, what is it that you know? What is it that is unique to you? What skills, what talents, what gifts do you have to bring to the world that people will be willing to pay you for, whether it's in kind or it's in cash? What do you know so well that you're the first person that comes to mind when they think about that? You've got to have that niche, that unique one that is yours. And if you don't, I'm going to show you how you can create that with your words. Then your character. It doesn't matter what you know, it doesn't matter how brilliant you are. Some of the most brilliant people are renegades. So your character has to be impeccable. Integrity, honesty, trustworthiness. When you speak, people know they can take your words to the bank. Your words are literally gold bars. Characters is important. So when you have the right knowledge and you have the character to match with it, you're ready to build the various rungs to the ladder. So let me give you 6 steps to building the rungs to your ladder. The very first step on this rung to the ladder is self-awareness. How do you know yourself? How much of yourself do you know? How much of your social identity are you confident about? How much of your social identity, how much of who you are, how powerful you truly are you aware of that? Networks. Again, we've talked about networks in this conference. Who are the people that you surround yourself with? I want you to think right now of the 5 closest people around you. And I'm going to give you a scenario. If you had to get $1,000 right now, right this minute, do you have somebody, another woman you could call and come up with $1,000? I don't want to go like $1,000,000, right? Okay, so let's keep it there. You have that one person you could call, and yes, they'll send you that money. If you were in trouble in the middle of the night, who is that person that you would call? If you had very great news, excellent news, you just won this incredible award, and you wanted to talk to somebody who would absolutely love you and not be jealous and not be upset and not be like, oh yeah, not be envious, who would that person be? So if you were to show up at an event and you were stuck in traffic or you missed your flight, who is that one person you would call and you are so confident? Go in there and speak on my behalf. Go in there and stand for me. Do you have that one person? If you don't, I'm going to show you how you can use your words to create that network. Visibility. This is one thing we women are not so good at. We don't want to, we want to be really nice. We don't want to blow our trumpets. We don't want to share what we're doing. But, you hear the anecdotes that being on scene is like a young man winking at a young girl in the dark, right? So you want to be visible. You're doing such incredible work anywhere. Why not share it? Why not tell people what you're doing? And I'm hoping that at the end of this conference, all of us will take our LinkedIn pages and we meet up, and there's so much. You never know what we could do beyond this space. So visibility, these are some of the roles that you have to create on your ladder to success. Self-care, you have to love yourself. You have to pamper yourself. We take care of so many people, our spouses, our children, the home, at the workplace, but who takes care of us? So you have to make time to care for yourself. Self-care is important. You have to empower others. It is Zig Ziglar who said that it is easy to get, you will get everything you want if you help enough people to get what they want. Who are you empowering? Who are you supporting? Who are you mentoring? Right? So this is really great because the more people you help, you're building more rungs on the ladder to your success. And then risk. How much risk are you willing to take? How much risk are you taking even now? A friend of mine who recruits for multinational companies said to me, she saw the profile of men and women who apply for some of the high profile jobs that she recruits for. And she said to me, when men apply for this job, they tick 50% of the boxes and they're ready. They're confident. Oh, I have 55, I have 3 out of 6 competencies that are required. I can learn on the job. And she said to me, women, on the other hand, would tick 5 of the boxes and still say they're not ready because they have that one box that they have not ticked. So she said, we women, we feel like we need to be perfect. We need to have it all together before we put our best steps forward. It's easier, of course, for a man to move to the next city and take up that new job. It's much harder for a woman to do that, to just pack her bag and move out to the next city, to the next job, to the next country, right? So, but with all of this, which we talked about our challenges. With all of this, how much risk are you willing to take? So let's see what we can do to. So if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not sure of who you are, you could literally begin right now at the tip of your tongue. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to consult anybody. Right where you are, you can begin to speak what you want for yourself. I am worthy. I am whole. I don't have to be perfect. Or you can say, I am perfect. I have talents that are unique to me. I understand myself. I own my emotions. Begin to speak these words. Initially, they may not make sense. Initially, you may not have clarity, but with time, you will begin to see clarity, right? For your networks, if you don't seem to have the right networks, you can basically speak them into existence. My network is of the best quality. My friends are a true reflection of who I am. I bring value to the table and I attract only the best people around me. Begin to verbalize those words. How do you stay visible? Now, this is one of the words. The first sound there is something I've started to say recently. Interestingly, I wanted to start having a global audience to speak to people outside my country. And so I started to affirm, I started saying, my sound is gone out into all lands. My sound is gone out into all lands. I started saying this. It wasn't a week after I started verbalizing this that Pro Summit reached out to me and said, hey, Teresa, I see you on LinkedIn. Would you consider speaking at this conference? And I was like, whoa, okay, let's see. And so here I am today on this global, being listened to by people from around the world. So I can say that I literally brought this by verbalizing that my sound, my words, my skills is gone out into all lands. I shine like a bright star. I cannot be hidden. Kings come to the glory of my rising. These are some of my favorite affirmations that I said to myself. Self-care. I always say I love myself. Ah, I deserve the best of life. I was made for this. Sometimes when I go to the spa, I tell myself, I was made for this, right? So I deserve to be pampered. Love yourself. If you don't have that now, don't say, when I have it, I'll say it. Speak it and watch it begin to happen. I bring solution to people's problems. I help people thrive. People feel better after meeting with me. I help others. People recognize my worth and I support them. Oh, I am not afraid to take risks. Risks help me to grow. I'm able to take the right decision. Everything works out for my good. I have a discerning spirit. You can begin to say these words and watch how your capacity to take bolder steps unfolds. So, our self talk is more powerful than anything anyone else can ever tell us. Positive words add more rungs to the ladder to your dreams. And of course, the bigger your dreams, the higher your dreams, the longer or the larger the ladder you have to build, and more of the competencies that you have to add to the rung of your ladder. But every time you say something negative, you destroy some of those rungs that you have built. And then not only are you unable to climb up to the top of your dreams, you're unable to take other people up with you. So talk yourself to the top of your career, your goals, and I wish you all the best of luck. Now, I have this friend. In 2020, she turned 40, so she's about pretty much about 45 right now. But I tell you, we'll just call her Sarah. It was as if she was waiting for that golden age of 40 to get old. All you can hear is, oh, I'm just getting old. Now, if she didn't call you and say, oh, Sarah, you said you were going to call me. Oh, you know, I keep forgetting things. I'm old. If she didn't pick your call, oh, I went to bed early. I'm getting old. You know, this old age, she says this. And I kid you not. Between 2020 to 2025, if you see this woman now, she looks like she's 60. The commonest word in her vocabulary is old. As a matter of fact, she spoke to me December last year and said she's considering retiring. And why? Because her health can no longer take it. And I told her, you know what? You're literally speaking yourself to an early grave. Do you realize how often you talk about being old? And she said, yeah, but you know, I'm good. I said, no, 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 no. You have a spouse who is 10 years older than you, and he's way younger than you in his outlook, in the way he looks, the way he moves. Why would you say this about yourself all the time? And she said, oh, wow, I didn't realize that. I'm going to change. So she's going to be an experiment for me to see what happens in the next few years as we begin to rework the way she talks and she thinks about herself. I would rather that when you are caught in a trap, that you say, it's okay. I am powerful. I am beautiful. For youthfulness, I usually say, the Lord fills my mouth with good things and renews my youth like the eagle. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for going on this journey with me. I have about 27 minutes, I think. And so I'm going to stop sharing my slide right now and hope that I was communicating with you.
It's Dr. Teresa, that was a great talk. And we have a few questions from our audience, Dr. Teresa. I want to ask you one. Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. What are the biggest challenges in managing large-scale public health initiatives, and how do you navigate them?
What did you say?
What are the biggest challenges in managing large-scale public health initiatives, and how do you navigate them?
Oh, some of the challenges in managing
Yeah.
public health initiatives and how do I manage them?
Yes.
So I think one of the greatest challenge is just dealing with people, getting people to be on the same page with you, getting people to buy into the vision. Because most people are not on the same page, right? You have people who are lagging behind, people who say, this is not going to work. People who say, we've always done it this way. And so when as a leader, you have new ideas, it takes that much longer to bring people to a point where they see a different view. Where people begin to say, oh, we can do this, we can try something new, we can try a different way of doing things. So it would be the managing the people aspect of it. And once you get that right, you find that people fall into people you inspire people, you get them to buy into the dream, and then you find out your public health initiatives become more successful. Again, in public health, one of the challenges that we have found is that we have maybe over 75% of public health workers, whether it's in the grassroots, in being female. But in terms of leadership, barely 20% are in leadership position. And women tend to take decisions that are more empathic, that are more people-centric rather than just policies, let's do it. This is what the policy says. Sometimes a woman would say, well, yeah, policy, it's good. But if we look at the people aspect, if we bring in people into this equation, we could, without breaking rules, we could do things a different way. So I would say getting people to buy into the dream, getting people to think outside the norm, and getting people to take risk, that those would be some of the challenges.
Thank you for your answer, Dr. Teresa, and thank you so much for your valuable time.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this platform. It's wonderful.
Thank you.